Welcome to 2026. Traditional web search is fading. AI chatbots are now the primary front door to the internet, and the vast majority of searches end without a single click to an external link. But despite this shift, millions of modern, beautifully designed websites are completely invisible to these AI systems. Why? Because they are still relying on optimization strategies built for Googlebot, a search crawler from a previous era. Think about how you and I experience a website. We see a clean, curated layout with intuitive menus, hero images, and nicely formatted text. This diagram shows what an AI sees when it looks at that exact same page. It is a chaotic nightmare. To a language model, your site is a dense, messy web of overlapping HTML tags, script snippets, and pop-up code blocks. HTML and JavaScript are the programming languages used to build and style websites, but to an AI, they are mostly just visual noise. That noise burns through the AI's limited short-term memory before it can extract your actual facts. We call this a token limit, or context window, the strict maximum amount of text an AI can process at one time. Once it hits that red line, the model simply stops reading. Leaving your digital door open is no longer enough. If an AI cannot efficiently parse your data, it simply won't include you in the answers it generates for users. To fix this, we have to look at the very first millisecond of an AI crawler's journey. Before a bot reads a single word of your website, it hits a mandatory security checkpoint on your server called the llms.txt file. This is a simple text document that tells automated bots which parts of your site they are allowed to visit. There is a critical industry misconception that AI crawlers are blocked by default. They aren't. They will usually crawl your site unless you explicitly tell them to stay out.
But relying on this default behavior is a gamble that often leads to your content being misinterpreted or ignored entirely. Looking at this text editor, we see the exact syntax required to explicitly welcome the major players. By writing user agent GPT-bot and user agent Claude-bot, followed by an allow command, you give broad indexing crawlers clear, unambiguous permission to read your site. Below that, you need separate commands for real-time fetching bots. When a user actively asks ChatGPT to search the web for a live answer, it uses specific agents like ChatGPT User and OAI SearchBot. These require their own explicit allow directives so they can fetch live answers for the user. But bot identification is also struggling with a new category of autonomous tools. Agents like OpenAI Operator and Google Mariner use standard browser profiles, meaning they are indistinguishable from human visitors in your server logs and bypass traditional identification methods. If you fail to actively architect this checkpoint, or if you use strict firewalls to blindly block all unfamiliar traffic, you will accidentally lock out the exact AI tools that are trying to cite and promote your brand. Once the AI crawler successfully passes that security gateway, you want it to completely bypass your messy HTML homepage. Instead, you need to point it to a specific, invisible file sitting at the root of your website, llms.txt. The llms.txt standard is a pristine, plain text file written in Markdown. Markdown is a lightweight formatting language that uses simple symbols like asterisks and hashes to organize text. It strips away all of your website's design, layout, and visual clutter. This diagram illustrates the transformation. On the left, a complex HTML hierarchy. On the right, it becomes a simple, linear Markdown list. It functions as a highly structured table of contents, serving your core pages, product details, and verified brand facts directly to the machine. Because there is no HTML clutter, the language model can instantly ingest your factual truth. It gets exactly what it needs while taking up only a fraction of its limited context window. For deeper dives, there is also a secondary file called llmsfull.txt. This comprehensive version concatenates your entire site's documentation into one long document, feeding models that are tasked with answering deep, complex user queries. Providing this Markdown map is a definitive way to give an AI your specific context. By feeding it a clean source of ground truth, you significantly reduce the chance of the model misinterpreting or hallucinating facts about your brand. This image shows the final result on the user's end.
We see a clean AI chat interface generating a factual summary about a company, featuring prominent footnote citations and direct hyperlinks. Those direct citations aren't a lucky guess by the algorithm. They are the engineered result of a website successfully implementing its robots.txt and llms.txt architecture. We are looking at a fundamental shift in visibility. It is called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. In the old model, SEO was a battle for human clicks. You tweaked keywords and built backlinks to appease a search algorithm, hoping to rank on the first page of Google. GEO requires a different approach. It is about optimizing for citations. You achieve this by efficiently feeding structured, verifiable facts directly into a neural network so it can confidently weave your brand into its answers. Victory in the AI era will not go to the websites with the highest volume of backlinks or the flashiest web design. It will go to the brands that make themselves the easiest for machines to read, understand, and trust.